We are live, we are direct with Patrick Flanagan from Univium, transforming businesses through intelligent automations. Solutions are built that integrate seamlessly with tools in a plethora of different businesses, whether that be scaffolding, real estate, media publishing. Univium have the answers: content pipelines, customer apps, tens of thousands of revenues recovered, and thousands of hours saved. Patrick is an avid reader of books such as Buy Back Your Time and Come Up for Air. Patrick understands readers are leaders, and he
That's
understands the
right.
power of investing in his growth. Welcome, Patrick!
Thank you very much, Jay. I appreciate it. I'm glad to be here and ready to talk.
No,
Absolutely.
100%, 100%. I'm looking forward to digging in. I guess the first question is, what's your ideal type of business? Is there like a business where you're saying 5 to 10 people, 2 million in revenue? Like, is there like a sweet spot that you serve with your custom solutions?
Absolutely. So I'd say I love working with small to medium-sized businesses. So typically teams of like 3 to 15 people that kind of have a lean operation and they've got their systems and processes in place, but they just want to automate it so they can kind of scale and grow. So definitely small to medium-sized businesses. I think a lot now with AI making improvements in technology and whatnot, small businesses are able to do a lot more than they've ever been able to do before. So I love working with those currently and helping them do more of what they do great.
Okay, perfect. And tell me what a typical day looks like for you, Patrick. Like in terms of what you might do in a day. I know you've got your team, but what might you do?
Absolutely. So I would say most of my day is spent communicating with clients, kind of asking them, hey, how are things going in your operations? Trying to figure out, what do we need to start implementing? So I'll do a touch base in the morning, kind of check emails, see, if there's any hiccups in processes and whatnot. And then from there, I'd spend most of the middle of my day kind of managing my development team and making sure, the projects we have in place, building out automations are kind of moving forward and whatnot, addressing a lot of technical stuff, programming. And then in the afternoons, I typically do consultation calls with my existing clients or new clients. And that's where we really have those in-depth discussions of, okay, where are we? Where are we? And where do we want to go? And that sort of thing. And so that's kind of a typical day for me.
Yeah, I was reading a book actually called Gap Selling. That's all about, hey,
Okay.
where is the organization? Where do they want to be? And if the unique solution that you have is able to fill that gap. So it's called Gap Selling, the book, which is, actually
I love
quite
it.
good in
I
that
haven't heard of
respect.
gap selling. I've heard of spin selling, which sounds similar. It's about investigating the needs of the client and figuring out, where do we make that connection and whatnot.
Yeah, 100%. And there's another one actually called, I'm not sure if you read the Challenger Sale. Yeah.
Challenger sale. It sounds familiar. I'll
Yeah,
have to
the
check it out. I'll
Challenger
write it
Sale is
down.
all about what's the number one factor that leads to B2B sales, and that's the consultant giving unique insights. So if
Okay.
those like telling, yes, they've never heard that insight before, it's like, wow, okay, if this isn't copy and paste here, so no, that makes complete sense. What's working well for you in your business? I see there's lots of client satisfaction, and you're saving your clients time. What's working well in your business?
I would say realizing the types of people I work well with, which we kind of already went over, but more to go more into that, I would say I work well with people that know what their unique strength is. And so typically, finding the person that they do this one thing really, really well that no one else can do, automating everything else and letting them do more of that. So really putting a focus on, you know, I think a lot of people will just want to automate these mundane tasks and they just kind of go about automation as like I don't know, a routine process, but I'm a lot more strategic about it. And I try and find people with unique strengths that I can just let them do more of what they're good at. I would say that's the essence of where I really provide a lot of that value. And then other than that, I would say building and scaling a team that can help build and implement these automations for more clients, because I just want to help as many people as possible. And so that was definitely a challenge for me at first, I think, building a team, but now I have a good process in place for managing these projects, getting these things built out, and all of that. Yeah.
No, it's good. I like the fact that you lean into what is their strength, because there's, again, we can reference books, right? It's like the one thing, and everyone has that one thing that if they lean into it, that their business will explode. So you lean into that one thing and you outsource the rest, because there's people who are going to be good at that one thing and they're bringing that energy there. And so it's like when we all are focusing on that one thing, then we're like a rock band where everyone is in their zone of genius, and it just sounds like a nice sound in that regard. And that everyone benefits from everyone being in their zone of genius, right? Everyone benefits from that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And talking with my clients about their teams too, something we are getting into a lot more now is we're not just asking the owner or the managers, what their unique strength is, but we ask them, tell us about your team, who in your organization does this task? Okay, what do you wish that they could do more of? What is their unique strength? And so really defining the automations around that, it makes a huge difference. And I can say it's just so much fun to see, once they start doing that, kind of how they do skyrocket, and they're kind of just, kicking butt. No one can stop them. And that's probably, the most enjoyable part of what I do, I'd say.
Okay, perfect. Tell me, what's the most enjoyable part of what you do? Like, yeah, what's the most enjoyable part?
Yeah, no, so that's a really good question. I'd say when I started my business, I originally started it because I love programming and coding, and I love automating. I've done automation for about 8, 9 years. I've always liked automating those mundane tasks that no one
Yep,
wants to do.
yep.
It took me a while to realize that was my passion. Kind of that sense of relief of like, I don't have to do that anymore. That's
Wow,
kind of really what I work towards. But then also
amazing.
I can just stay in front of a computer and code all day. And so those are some of the things. But then as I've kind of grown my business, you kind of have to go through a growth development phase when you're first starting a business. And what I've learned is I really enjoy working with our clients and again, letting them do what they do best, and kind of the fulfillment of seeing other people benefit from the type of work I enjoy doing is definitely fun.
Yeah, perfect. Have you done a lot of inner work, like spiritual or meditation? Because I can sense a very grounded
Mhm.
energy in terms of.
Absolutely. No, so I've done a lot of what would you call it? I guess personal development work, self growth, and whatnot. When I started my business, I got a good business mentor who kind of walked me through all of this. And
Okay.
you probably know how it goes. Is at first you just kind of want to start working, and you don't really want to work on yourself. But I realized to work on your business, you have to work on yourself. And so I read a lot of John
Yes.
C. Maxwell,
Yep.
leadership books and
Yep.
whatnot. And then I read a lot of books on management and consulting, kind of like come up for air and whatnot as well. So
Okay. No, that's amazing. Tell me, Dan Martell. I watch a lot of his stuff, and he's speaking about AI, going all in that area of AI, really focusing on that. I guess my question is, how has AI affected yourself, your team, and your clients? What's the impact of AI
absolutely,
been?
absolutely. So it's very interesting my relationship with AI. Automation has always been my passion, but I decided to start my business after the AI boom had started. So when I first started, I always tell people I was kind of nervous because I didn't know, you know, in 6 months, I could have been ruled out because they invented this AI that can do everything I was doing. So ironically, as an automation developer, there is still like a fear of AI replacement initially, but I've kind of come to change that viewpoint and accept that AI will continue to help us. I would say the biggest difference it's made for me is it has actually allowed me to do more work for my clients. So I'm able to do more automation for more people than I would have been able to do in the past. And so it kind of broadens my area of impact that I can have, I would say. Um, and then, so that's more of like on a broad level, and I'm trying to think on more of a detailed level. And bear with me here. It's 6 a.m. over here, so I'm still waking
No,
up a little bit.
I just thought, like, looking at the time, I thought, did Patrick really book in like at that time? Because normally people book in at 3 p.m. UK time, 4 p.m. It's like, you booked in at 12:30. What time? You're on Eastern time zone, right?
No, I'm on Central.
Or
Central.
Central. Okay, so it's
Yeah.
round about, what is it, 5 o'clock in the morning, or five getting to
About
6?
6:40 something,
Okay, 6.
6:47.
Okay, perfect. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm still waking up, but
Okay.
so give me just a minute to think
No
of where
worries.
else I've implemented
Yeah.
AI automation. I'd say, a lot of our automations, a really, really big one that I think people don't talk about is data governance. So I tell people all the time, you can't build good automations without good data. And AI has made it significantly easier to help small businesses clean up their data, get a good hold on their data. And then after we do that, we can build all sorts of automation around it. That's a really, really big one that a lot of people don't think about. AI decision making, and then a lot of good stuff. There's a lot of good stuff you can do with AI.
No, it makes perfect sense. How would you advise someone that's found one automation, or maybe a sales call analyzer, something that can be applied to a small business, and they want to sell it for 2,500? How would you advise someone that wants to, get these automations that they've worked on and start to sell it to individual businesses? What advice have you got?
Absolutely. So I would say, especially now with AI making it more feasible for people to create these kinds of automations, we're going to see a lot more of them. And so the market will become saturated a little bit. And so what's really going to be important, and this is really what I'm starting to focus on a lot, is being able to find and connect with the people that can benefit from what you've built. And that's going to be the most difficult part of it, is finding and connecting with those people. And so it's kind of counterintuitive. It's not you just build this thing that's really valuable and like the people will come. It's not that. You have to find a way to connect with your target audience, which means first off, you have to know who your target audience is, which is like a whole process in and of itself. So find out who your target audience is, find out who it benefits, what you've built, who it benefits, how it benefits them. Then you have to find a way of how to connect with them, how to find them, then how to connect with them. So it's what platforms are they on? Are they on YouTube? Are they on LinkedIn? Are they on Twitter? Find them, then connect with them. Once you connect with them, and if you can portray the value of what you've built, then they'll start purchasing your product. And so it's kind of a whole process beginning to end. Yeah,
No, Matt, thanks for sharing that. Appreciate it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Where are you based in the States?
I'm out of Texas, in
Oh,
Texas.
Texas. Okay. Anywhere near Austin or
About 3 hours. Yeah, I'm in Dallas, Texas, about 3 hours
Dallas?
from
Okay,
Austin.
cool. All right.
Yes.
So, look, say next year I pop to Texas to do some podcasting in Austin, and then I come and say hello to you in Dallas, and you say, Jay, wow, that big goal that I spoke about 1 year ago with you at 6 a.m. in the morning, well, that
hmm
goal came true. What was that goal that we spoke about today?
I want to help more small businesses, I would say. I want to help more small businesses because I think there's so much that they can do now that they couldn't have done before. And so right now I have about 5 clients, I'd say 5 active clients that I'm working with regularly. I want to scale that up to a lot more. I can't say how many yet. The number that popped in my head is a year from now, I want to be working with 100 different clients. I don't know if that's feasible
Wow.
or reasonable, but I
Yeah.
just want to scale my operations and
Yeah.
kind of build a system for taking a small business, working with them to really help them refine and focus on their strengths. So
Nah,
that's
100%. And I think,
the big goal is,
yeah,
hey, a hundred small businesses I'm helping. That'd be amazing.
yeah, for sure. And I think with the case studies that you've got, it's clearly you're remarkable at what you do, which is
Thank you.
90% of the way there. Often people just have the shiny object, but I like people who go deep and are actually
Hmm.
good coaches and are able to impart insights. Hey, look, here's your zone of genius. Stay there. Let me help the rest. Let me go to Fiverr. Let me go to Upwork. Let me use my network. Let me really kind of leverage that and kind of get that together. So, that's powerful there. What metric
Absolutely.
are you most trying to optimize for over the next year? What metric?
I think I have like 5 metrics that I'm really focusing on optimizing with my team, my development team. Let's see if I can remember them right now. I should know them off the top of my head. It's quantity, how many projects can we get done? Quality, and I have a way to I can go over how I measure these two if we want, but quantity, quality, speed, predictability, and adoption. And adoption's the hardest because people will always ask us to build something and I'll build it and give it to them, and then I have to make sure that they're using it, that they know how to use it. I have to
Make sure.
train them on it and how it's important. But those are the five metrics I'm really honing down on with my business over the next couple months.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
love that. And I love the fact that you have a system around it. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, it's in this age. I was reading a book like at 3 a.m. in the morning. Um, it was all about emotional intelligence, how, the how EQ is more important than IQ. And just really looking at that element of self awareness. Like we have to be self aware in terms of where our shortcomings are and how we can improve. We need to have empathy for our prospects, for our clients in terms of where their challenge might be, how we could rather than a wham bam, thank you, ma'am, take this automation, see you later. And
Yeah.
I think you have that. I think you have that emotional intelligence along with the
Hmm.
IQ, where sometimes often people might lean towards one or the other, but I think having that balance just makes us more rounded as a business owner, as a husband, as a friend in that regard, in our relationships.
Absolutely. No, I definitely agree, and I think I'm different than I feel like a lot of automation developers in that, like you said, a lot of automation developers will be like, wham bam, here's your automation, good luck and have fun. I'm the opposite. I stay connected with my clients. I follow up. I say, hey, we built this for you. We implemented it. How's it
Amazing.
going? Is it useful? Is it helpful? And all of that. I really like to stay connected with my clients, and all of my clients have been long term. They've been with us. I just started my business middle of last year, so they've been with us, pretty much since I've started, since I've gained them. And and yeah, and I'd say just on that note of emotional intelligence is there's a lot of, and this is the type of people I like working with, is people that are very action oriented and they're always go 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 go. And so I'll hop on a call with them and they'll just throw out all these ideas at me and they'll say I want this and I want that and I want this and I feel like this and I feel like that. And I like taking all of that and refining it into like a concrete step by step actionable plan that they can actually implement in their business. And I feel like that definitely takes some good emotional intelligence of being able to understand what someone's feeling and kind of be able to translate that into concrete items that they actually want and need for their business. So, absolutely.
No, that makes
Hmm.
sense.
Yeah.
What's the biggest challenge stopping you or, hindering that ability to grow that client base in terms of, yeah, with your company?
So it's funny because it's on the same topic of learning to delegate that type of emotional intelligence. And I would say, so a big thing, because we've mentioned a couple books. One book I'm reading right now is The Speed of Trust.
Yes.
by is it Sean Covey or Stephen? I think it's Sean Covey or Stephen Covey, one or the other. And I think I'm realizing I have to continue building trust with my team in order to delegate more. I'm very, especially being a programmer, I'm very hands-on. I like to have a lot of control over what I build. So building trust so I can learn to let go a little bit and trust my team to kind of take control. And with that is finding someone on my team that I can trust to have conversations with my clients, to have those conversations and to get those concrete action items that we can execute on. And so that's really the next step in my business is hiring, some kind of client relationship manager who I can train and develop a system around to execute on these consultations, ask these discovery questions and refine and scope out projects for our development team. And I think once I do that, I'll be able to begin processing and helping a lot more businesses. So building trust and delegating, some of that more involved aspect of my business.
No, perfect. Thanks for sharing. You onboard a new client. Yeah, new client onboarded. What's the three steps you would implement to make sure all is well with a new client? What are the three things that you would do?
Absolutely. So I can tell you kind of my process currently. A new client, typically everyone goes through my website, Univium.com. And when I get a request in, first thing I'll do is I'll set up a 30-minute free consultation with them just to have a chat, see if we're even remotely close to being, good with working with each other, right? If we are, then I schedule a follow-up consultation, hour-long consultation, where it's just a discovery call, and I ask them about their operations, and we kind of just do a full in-depth analysis overview. And I ask them, okay, walk me through your key processes step by step. And then they'll walk me through it, and I'll take a look at that, and I'll say, okay, based on everything you've told me, here are all the things that you're doing manually that we could automate. This, and this, and we'll kind of build a list. And then I'll say, okay, well, based off of your strengths and what you want to be spending more time doing or spending less time on, out of everything that we can automate, this is what I think we should automate. And so we'll build a prioritization list, prioritize, we're going to start with this, and then kind of go down the line. And then at that point, so that's just right after the first hour-long consultation, we give you a proposed action item plan for your business right away. And then from there, if it looks, reasonably helpful, we'll schedule follow-up consultations to kind of scope out those projects in more detail, depending on the complexity. And then from there, we just kind of go about our regular development process, which that kind of, I have to get people used to that, is it's, again, discovery for each individual project, depending on complexity, development, testing, and releasing to production. So all of that good stuff.
Amazing. And I guess my final question for you is, for someone looking to build what you've built, the type of business, what advice would you give them to get started in something like this?
I would say this advice may be more broad than direct. I would say focus on alignment rather than anything else. Align yourself with what you do well and what you like to do. And if you can find that one thing, then everything else kind of falls into place. Whenever I started my business, I asked myself, what's the one thing I've been doing regularly for the past 10 years, which is, a long period of time to be consistent for. If you can find out what that is, odds are you're going to continue doing that. If you can get aligned on that, then just do that, and everything else kind of falls into place, comes naturally. So yeah.
No, thank you very much. Patrick, thanks for hopping on today. Tell them, who you are looking for to maybe work with specifically and how they can contact you.
Absolutely. So if you're a small to medium-sized business, team of, 3 to 15 people, go to my website, Univium.com. Or you can follow me on YouTube or LinkedIn. But go to my website, Univium.com, you can submit a request. We'll get back to you within 24 hours, and we would love to help you out. It's what we love doing. So absolutely.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Patrick, for hopping on today. It's very good to connect and to talk all things to do with automations and awareness and emotional intelligence. So
Absolutely.
thank you ever so much.
Thank
I
you, Jay.
appreciate
I
it.
appreciate it and enjoyed our conversation.
No worries, no worries, no worries.